Thank you all for tuning in to Breathing is Highly Dangerous. We are giving our first breath, working toward and hoping for the next, all the while fearing our last. Welcome to the show.
No.
The event.
A little bit more grand.
The movement.
That's better, I like that.
The movement of the century.
Well, movement, that may be a little bit much. How about a conquest to ferment the ones ignosable that try to impinge their iniquitous veracity to our thoughts?
Look, man, do you want me to do this or not? Either way, I get paid.
Sorry, go ahead.
We've come to ask why, but never satisfied with a simple answer. Discovering the not-so-secret secrets. Playing coy into the ploy, kicking every rock, smiling with joy. Here is your host. He puts the U in unusual, the P in pterodactyl. Not just why, he also asked how. If you suffer from
Hippopotamonstros esquipedaliophobia.
please leave now. No one will believe you. I give you Emmanuel Manny Stewart.
Thank you, all of you.
For watching this podcast again, and I appreciate anyone that's watching. This episode has been sponsored by TrustAllTruths.com. I'd like you all to check that out if you can and possibly donate to it. They're a non-profit organization that are providing the truth to the world based on objective truth and uncovering a lot of secrets that have been kept and shining a light on the darkness and really making proper change in the world. Actually in the world and not just for their own thing.
I got a quick little testimony to give right now. I don't know if you all believe it, but I came out to this area. I'm just doing business out here this morning, in a city a ways from where I stay, and I just happened to see a nature reserve on the map, so I'm walking through there right now. As I'm getting on my car, which I'll show you later. I'll show you this when I get back to it. There is a little grate underneath my car, right? So I take my camera out of my car and then I'm walking towards this right now and I realize I left my phone in my car. Go to my car, unlock my car. The moment I take out my keys, they fall down this drain. Right? They fall down this drain. I'm like, oh no, I'm so stupid. I'm the stupidest person in the world right now. But then there's a stick behind me and I pick it up and get the keys out the drain. This is magnificent. It's a wonderful day. It's turning out to be the most blessed day of the month so far. This is spectacular. No, but yeah, I just kept a level head. I'm like, I know getting upset wasn't going to change my situation. So you really got to be in control of your emotions when bad things happen. Because was that inevitable? No. The choices I made led up to that result happening. I didn't have a tight enough grip on my keys and I let go of them, right? It's on a long string. So all of this stuff fell down the drain. It's something I didn't expect, so I didn't expect it to fall down. That's not something, I mean, I saw the grate, I'm like, there's nothing I was highly concerned about, because I've never done that before. But new experiences and the things that you don't anticipate are the things that are going to happen, right? When you give way to, what do you call it? Just when you get comfortable, right? I was comfortable knowing that I've never done that before. So it was something I didn't have to worry about. But not worrying about it made me unprepared to continue to keep a tight grip on my keys so they wouldn't fall to the ground, which resulted in that. But then I asked a lovely lady that was in a car, well, not in a car, getting out the car with her baby carriage. And I asked her, hey, do you have a long thing with a hook? I just dropped my keys down this drain. She's like, no, sorry. And immediately, I kept so calm because I'm like, yeah, I can't do anything getting upset, not going to do anything. Like, I knew all the potential things I could think about. Like, hey, How am I going to get home? Got work later today. Got to call somebody. Got to spend money. I'm doing business today. Just spent money. Don't want to spend more money today. So it's like, oh, that's really cool. That right there. That's pretty. Like it's a step up. Like it's a wood. Like a nature step. Literal like nature step. That's pretty cool. No, but I knew all the things I could worry about. I chose not to worry about those things because that wasn't going to solve my problem. So then I looked, fucked around all around myself, see if I have any tools that could help. Looked around, found a stick on the ground. That stick on the ground is a thing that got these keys out of a drain. Wonderful. And I'm about to talk to you all about something else today. I don't know what that was because now I got disfocused because out of this amazement, and I understand that some things that you do in your life will contribute to you being unfocused, like disobedience. And I found myself in a disobedient position. I put myself in a certain position by being disobedient this past week, and I know the results that are going to come of that. I gotta go back. I gotta start back on my course and face forward, right? And this is something. It's not. It's about a once a month. It's basically on schedule. So I do like these long marathons of complete obedience, and then one day just like give myself an excuse, like I can overcome this, so put myself in a position close enough, but then I fall in, like thinking I can walk around the edge without having my balance fully perfected yet before doing that. And when I shouldn't even be doing that balancing act to begin with. But I'm putting myself in that position that though it can go successfully, it doesn't mean the stuff was still at risk, and you're not necessarily benefiting yourself by taking the risk. Are you getting a reward out of the risk? Because like, are you just you're walking on a plank that's on the ground? What's the purpose of walking on a plank that's on the ground? Like, you're not taking. What are you getting out of it? Like, and that's something. Like, I'm not getting anything out of my disobedience. All I'm getting is a consequence. I don't get a reward from it. All I get is a punishment, not a reward. And that's something I am continuing to realize daily, nightly. There's certain animals out here. They're pretty large because they made some noise. Don't know exactly what type of animals they are. Looked like a medium-sized rodent. Oh, they're just squirrels. Just pretty large squirrels, I guess. But yeah, this says, notice, what does that say? Dogs must be kept on leash. Okay, so this is a place people take their dogs sometimes, I guess. No, but I guess I'll come to you about your emotions, like where you stand when you're presented with a problem. Where does your mental state go? Are you in control of it, or does your situation start controlling it? And while it's under your control, do you have steady hands, or are you shaking all nervously? right? When we're presented with an obstacle, we need to stop, analyze, not get emotional, right? Or get emotional happiness in saying, oh yes, this is a new opportunity I'm being presented with to solve something I've never had to deal with before, solve a new task. Right, let me stop and sit somewhere, or stand somewhere. Give me a second. Oh, so yeah, I've stopped somewhere. So yeah, I was coming to tell you, when you're presented with an obstacle presents itself in front of you, what is the first thing that we should do? Now, majority of the time, a lot of people, depending on the obstacle, the first thing is to let the emotions take over, and they demonstrate either anger, right? Anger, sadness, worry, disgust, or yeah, one of those things, or many other things, right? An emotion. So always a mix of controlled, objective analysis and emotion. But if the ratio of that is overbearing, is more emotional leaning, then you're not going to get the most efficient results as in the most timely manner, right? And I'd like to recommend, when you're presented with a very difficult obstacle, a very difficult task, that the first thing we do is take a moment. Depending on how time sensitive it is, you're going to have to do it quickly. But it comes with practice. So with the everyday decisions of your life, the everyday obstacles, the everyday choices that you make, when you have the moment. So this is our practice. We gotta start with the mediocre stuff in order to get the more advanced stuff. We gotta start the things that we consider remediary until we get to the most, the top grade stuff that is going to affect our lives in the most drastic ways, or affect someone else's life in the most drastic way. Let me clean this off really quick. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'd like to advise that we take a moment and analyze. Take a moment and ponder the results of the potential actions, right? Think about those things before we do them. See the best rewards and see the worst punishments because of actions. The best outcomes and the worst outcomes. Right? And then decide how much effort we're actually willing to place into each of those actions. Because the least amount of effort is no effort at all. And what will result from that? Is that a punishment, or is that nothing happens with the situation? You disregard it and the people are left affected to a high degree, a low degree, or no degree, right? So we gotta put all those things, consider all those things. And once those things are considered, and we understand how much work each of those things is going to take, the decision that we choose, if we choose one, and hopefully it's the best decision, right? Is it usually? Hopefully it's the best decision. We must stay completely consistent and linear with that track, and adjusting for all the other obstacles. And when we face those obstacles, use the same method of analysis and decisive analysis, then and mental and thought and testing it, and then choosing. So when those obstacles present themselves, you keep on doing the same method of take a moment, contemplate completely and thoroughly, understand the effort that it takes, choose, and stay consistent with along that path. And the moment you deviate from that path, you understand that the result will not be the same. So expectations of a certain result without that result being a possibility with the choice that you've made, with the whatever is consistent, when you understand the constants within a problem, those constants equate to a very particular result or a set amount of results. These are the things that are possible with what is in the in the equation, in the problem. The solution does not change, the result does not change without one of the constants in the problem, in the equation, changing. So if you expect a certain result that is not possible with the particular constants, with the particular numerals that you have within your equation, the result and the answer, the solution will not change. And that is something we need to be wholly, completely, utterly, and consciously aware of. And I don't think most people are, to the degree that they should be. They may be very successful at some points, right? Highly successful at some points. But when those things are not applicable to every other situation, then then we're not in a good place, right? You can be the greatest mathematician in the world. Does that mean that you're the best literary focused person in the most literary, the most effective literary analysis? You can be, but you need to invest time into these things, right? That investment of time in making decisions and continuing to make the best decisions and continuing to go for this result, certain things have to be consistent. Certain things have to be entailed or implemented. Some things have to be present within your lifestyle, within your choices. Things are mandatory. The only thing that is optional is your choice, is what you choose to make consistent. Those things are the things that are individual. The things that are not, the things that are objective are the results. Because of these things will happen. Nothing is happenstance. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything happens because of another thing. Not everything happens necessarily for a reason, but everything happens because of a reason. Everything has something that comes before it, that a predecessor. Nothing can exist without something existing to change its state. Energy, right, is not created or destroyed. It is changed, right? It is transformed, right? This is applicable to everything in life. So if you want to believe science, if you want to believe to believe truth, then if you want to believe in I don't know, if you want to live life, really, honestly. Because these are life lessons that these things are affecting us every day. So these are things that we should be wholly and completely aware of. We are wholly and completely aware of them in the way we act, but in terms of consciously operating, knowing we're aware of them physically. Are we mentally aware of these things? Because if we're not mentally aware, then we're not going to make choices that necessarily benefit us. Making choices that benefit us every time, and that's what we have to do more consistently, is with our choices, right? Whether that be in relationships, whether that be within jobs, whether that be in our hobbies, the music we listen to, the media we decide to watch, create, the things that we create, the things that we tell people, the things that we read, right? If any of these things do not align with what your expectation of the best result is, if any of these things cause detriment to another, then you're coming out with a bad result. There's something in the equation that can be changed. If you're having a bad result, that means something can be changed. Does it mean it needs to be changed? That is subjective. Whether you think something needs to be fixed, is it something you're utilizing, is something you care about? Because if you don't care to fix something, you're not going to fix it. Anything that happens, anything is because someone wanted it to happen. Right? If you say someone forces you to do something, that is not wanting to do that because someone forced you. But you need to understand if you're being forced or you're being influenced. If you're being influenced to do something, that means you still want to do it because you are physically using your body to complete an action with influence. At threat of whatever the person, at threat of whatever is being said towards you that this will happen, and you believe that word. So if you believe that, you're doing these actions that you are influenced to do, that you want to do, so a result that you believe will happen will not happen. So that is making a decision in place of another decision, right? In place of another result. Making a decision to cause a result in place of another result. Does that make sense? I could say that better, but I'm trying not to use the whole dictionary. I'm trying to make it so everyone can understand. Like, even share this with children. I'm going to be putting these in different formats so I can begin teaching a younger audience. But right now, I need to teach. I need to make aware, not really teach, but make aware of these certain situations that you can then analyze and implement into your own life. Whether or not it's 3 people watching, whether or not it's 1 person watching, whether or not it's just for myself, because I need to continue to implement these things in my life. Like I said earlier, I've made mistakes this week, right? Decisions that are not the best for my life, my future, and my present, right? So if we need to make decisions consciously knowing what it's going to affect, not just our present, but our future. Because it gives us immediate gratification. What is then the result after that? Life still happens after you're satisfied, right? Unless your final satisfaction is your own death. That's what suicide is for. And I don't wish that upon anyone, because that is a choice you make to absolve your own life without knowing what was after if you hadn't taken that upon yourself, right? But that's all. That's a choice. If a life is taken by any physical matter, that is the result of an action for someone or something, right? All right, so the last thing I was talking about was choices and decisions that you make, right, every day. And the results of those decisions. And how long you think about those decisions. And are they necessarily the best for you? And that can also be translated into what society thinks, right? If you have, if there's a choice that the majority makes, right? And you're part of a majority, right? And that certain decision that the majority makes has a bad result, right? But you see another side, and you're with this majority because the other side, you see the results of their actions also have the problems that they have bad results, right? So you're looking at the other side and don't want to be on that side because the problems have a bad result. But then they look at your side, they see your problem has a bad result. Why are we not self-analyzing the problems, our own problems, to fix the results that we get that are negative, that are detrimental to society as a whole, with the people for non-majority, right? And the people for majority. So it's not like you're just the people in the non-majority are being hurt. You're also hurting yourself with your own choices. But you made that choice. And the majority made the choice. But the result of it is a punishment for everyone, not just the people that disagree with you. So how are you okay with continuing to make the same decisions, the same choices, having the same constants in the equation? How are you okay with keeping those there when you see the negative result? I can tell you why. Because of comfort, because of fear, right? Comfort, fear, and disregard, right? Comfort, fear, and disregard. So you're comfortable in the fact that, hey, I'm not. It's not only me making this decision. I really didn't have much of a change in it. It still would have been the same result even if I didn't do it, right? And hey, I can deal with this punishment. It doesn't affect me that much. I know it's bad, but it's not that bad, so I'm okay with it. And yes, some people have it off much worse, but I'm okay, right? And then there's fear. Well, I can't be the one to speak out, right? They're gonna all start attacking me. I don't want to be on the attack side. I don't want to be attacked, right? I can't be the first one. No, it can't be me. No, no, I'm not gonna be the one to take the hit for this. I don't want to be called out. What about my reputation? Right? Selfish fear, right? And then there's disregard. Well, it doesn't really matter that much. Not affecting me. Not affecting me. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I voted that way, so what? So what? And these thoughts, these choices that we make, the choices, the constants, the results are cyclical. They're going to continue to happen as long as we continue to perpetuate these thoughts and these actions, right? As long as those are consistent, everything else is going to be consistent. Change only happens when something is altered, right? Still water. Ooh, still water. That's a good song. Right, who knows about the Four Tops? Who knows about the four tops? None of you know about the four tops except the people that do. Still water. That's a good one. But yeah, still a lake and a river. There's a reason why they are identified as something different. What does a river do? Or a waterfall and a waterfall on a lake, right? They're identified as separate things. They're both water. They both have the same chemical makeup, but they are in two different physical states, right? One is still, unless wind affects it, and the other one is in motion, right? Because things are changing. That change is consistent because that same water makes its round unless it gets evaporated, and then precipitation and all that stuff. You understand how water works, unless you're a child, which that's fine. Teach it to your children. Well, you know this. We're adults mostly, and we're people that understand that the state of being only changes when there's a physical interference, right? So the physical interference of a river would be altitude mixed with temperatures, mixed with vacuums, mixed with lots of different things, right? That's not something I could teach you a whole lot about. I can teach you what I know, and I only know what I know. But no, we understand that those are different. A lake is still, and a waterfall is rushing. So if we are a lake and we're expecting to go to Mount Kilimanjaro, and there's no creeks in place, there's no latitude, there's no altitude change, there's no temperature change, there's no evaporation, there's no state of change, how do we get there? Right? If we're a lake and we want to right, unless an animal drinks us and then the animal goes there, then that's a state of change. That requires change. It requires it requires action, physical alteration, physical interference. You cannot just wish for these things to happen. Wishful thinking, that's wishful thinking, right? Anything without action behind it is wishful thinking. Your wish without action means nothing. It doesn't have to be action upon yourself. It has to be action of others. But then what is there to influence them to act in your best interest?
And for the religious folk out there that didn't catch that, that's prayer, folks.
And that's something I'll be talking about soon, because I've been trying to get into that. I've been trying to start this choice series, so this choice is going to be, I guess this will be involved in my choice series about entitlement and such.
Thank you all so much for watching this episode today. I'm really excited about this series. I can't wait for the rest of the things that I've got to share, the insights, and maybe even have some guests on with this particular series, because this is something that I wanted to see how other people think about it in an immediate sense. But also thank you all for those of you that will check out trustalltruth.com, the sponsor of this video, that think it's going to be a world shaker, and that's 100%. Whether or not there's a lot of people, whether or not the coalition of the group is great and heavy-handed and strong-arming and powerful, or it's just a certain small set group of people that are going to make small changes around the world that are going to benefit the lives of the people involved. I'm so excited for that as well. And these videos will be the full video of these podcasts will be available on that website, as well as things by others people eventually, but currently only my videos are on that website. So go check that out, trustalltruth.com. Thank you for watching. Breathe is highly dangerous. Be blessed, stay blessed, and I will see you all, and you will hear me in the next one. Thank you so much for listening and watching.